time preserving the rights and protecting the consumer at the same time. So that way, we get away from all the issues to do with politics. We actually work with countries that embrace blockchain technology and Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and we are not an island. We always work with other countries and regions that are favoring this kind of technology and embarking and making a bet on this kind of technology. And we're already, after creating the world's first made-for-purpose regulator, we actually started talking to the other crypto-friendly regions to see how we can work together on these initiatives, and what we can learn from them and what we can actually export to them as well.
That makes sense. And, Brian, so does your comment earlier about the Bitcoin network doing for value or money what the internet did for information. And in sort of trying to project or think through what geopolitical competition might look like for the Bitcoin network, I think it's useful to sort of compare it to the internet, right? You have this sort of open protocol that anybody can access and participate in. And in that sense, adoption is non-rivalrous, right? Like the more the merrier. So too with Bitcoin. But there was intense competition in terms of those service providers, right? Some of the largest companies in the world are, early internet businesses that, for a series of reasons, chose to domicile and grow their operations in the United States. And to anyone who's sort of looked at, American, equity markets in the last 30 years, it's clear that we've benefited tremendously from creating, regulatory conditions, among other things, that are, sort of conducive to the running and domiciling of those companies. So, Matt, my question for you is, how can we expect competition vis-a-vis Bitcoin to play out on the international stage? And what sort of form will that competition take?
Yeah, I think you're seeing rising competition across all sorts of domains. So I would characterize as sort of great power network competition. Principally represented not just in Bitcoin and digital assets, but across sort of whole swaths of these emerging, fundamentally digital networks upon which our modern technological civilization relies. And so there is fights over where we lay subsea cables for telecommunications between sort of Western companies, U.S. companies, Chinese companies. What sorts of 5G telecommunication systems get installed in which countries? What sorts of AI cloud service providers and other kind of big data solutions are provided in which countries? Sort of whether sort of Western aligned or China aligned. Companies, what sorts of central bank digital currency networks people are going to opt into or collaborate with in terms of those projects. And so Bitcoin, as it emerges and becomes increasingly geopolitical, is going to be a part of that larger great power network competition, right? Which is a competition not just over strategic influence, right? You're trying to compete over critical nodes in the digital network. You get a lot of power having dominance in a network, right? The U.S. having the dominance in the legacy financial system gave the U.S. immense power by two key parts of network power are essentially surveillance power and choke